Hey, it's Ryan from Upfit Supply, and in this video we're going to be installing our Legend motion sensor ceiling lights in our RAM ProMaster. Let's get into it. All right, you'll be able to use this installation video for other full-size vans like the Sprinter or the Transit, or even the 2-light kit or the 4-light kit. We're gonna be installing a 3-light kit, which is recommended for the 159-inch regular wheelbase. So we're gonna be installing 3 lights just like this. There's gonna be some nuance from vehicle to vehicle, specifically on how you attach to the battery. So that obviously you're gonna wanna reference those installation instructions. And of course, this video does not replace those manufacturer provided installation instructions. We're doing our best to follow those, but make sure you reference those for the ultimate authority on how to install these. So the first thing we're gonna do is just kind of lay out all of our components and figure out where we're gonna be putting the lights. Then we'll do attachment to the battery. And then actually we're gonna be putting ceiling liners in here. So we're gonna have our wiring ran first, and then we'll install the ceiling liners, and then we'll install the lights on those liners. Now you can install these without liners on the ceilings. You're just gonna wanna make sure that you get the brackets that allow you to attach these lights essentially to these cross members on the ceiling. So make sure you get that bracket kit if you're not gonna be installing these in on liners. So the first thing you're going to do is just kind of go through your wiring extensions. There's going to be, I believe, 2 longer ones and then 4 shorter ones. It depends on the light kit that you purchase, because you need different amount of wiring depending on how many lights you're going to be attaching. So just kind of open those up. They're not labeled, so you figure out which ones are the short ones, which ones are the long ones. I think they're about 5 feet and 10 feet. With Legend, everything's in the metric system, so it's 3 meters and 6 meters, I believe. So you can tell right here, this is one of the long ones. This is about 6 feet there, and another 4 feet-ish, so about 10 feet with this one. And then a shorter one, again, it's about 5 feet right here. You're gonna only be using, I think, 3 of the 4 short ones, and you're gonna be using both of the long ones. First thing we're gonna do is just kind of plan out where we're going to be putting our lights. And so Legend kind of gives you a guide on how to figure out where to place the lights. And so what they do is say, measure your ceiling and then divide it by 6. So we're going to take a measurement here of the ceiling, and to make this simple, I'm just going to do it on the floor to get a close length. And we're at 140 inches, so we're going to divide that by 6. So we're at 23 1/3, so we'll call it 23 inches. So basically what you're gonna do, your first forward light is gonna be at that 23-inch mark. So we're at 23, about right here. And so I'm just gonna mark this actually over on the side here, where my first light's gonna be here. And then from this point, we're gonna do 2 times that 23 measurements. We're gonna be at 46 from this location. It's about right here. We got our second one right here, and I'm just gonna mark this again with tape. If you've got a Sharpie or a grease pen or something like that, you can also use that. And then finally, we're gonna do another 46 measurement from this location, which should also be 23 from the rear, to give us our last location for the light. So our 3 lights are gonna be going right here, and right here. So for this first wiring location right here, there's gonna be a T. Basically, we're gonna run from the battery to a T here, 1 branch coming out to this light, second branch going out to our second light, or to another T, and kind of a similar idea. Your battery terminal connector has, I believe you would consider this a male connector. So you're gonna make sure that the female connector is gonna be able to plug into this. So what I'm gonna do is actually route the female connector down through the wall cavity and out, and just give me as much slack down here that I need so that I can make sure I can get under the seat and all of that. So as you can see, I've kind of run along this top channel down the sides right here, and I'm kind of coming out right by this black piece of trim, because I'm going to run underneath that. And then that's going to allow me to bypass my partition, and then I'm going to be running under the floor here to connect to where our battery connection is going to be, but you can kind of see the slack that I have available down here. So now I have a T connector right here, which has a female side right here, and then 2 males on this side. I believe I could be getting these mixed up, but you get the idea. So I can plug this female side in right here, and then I've got my T's here, and I can run my wiring out to here for my first light. And again, this is is gonna be the short length. So this is less than 6 feet long. Just plug and play. Take my second one. Again, I wanna run the female connector through this wall. Now I've got both connected right here, and I'm back here at my second location for my second light, and then I'm gonna take my second T, connect right here, take another short length. This is going to run out to my second light right here, and then I'm gonna take one of my long lengths to hit my third light in the back, since we don't need a T back there. Again, I'm gonna find my tape right here. Again, I have this length that's just gonna run out to this light here. Wiring assembly all done for the back of the van. Then we're gonna move up and connect to the battery. Okay, we have the battery here, which is right under the driver foot. You know, this is the gas pedal and the brake pedal right here. We've got our positive side right here, our negative side right here. And the cool thing about the ProMaster is they kind of has these accessory locations where you can add items. So we're just gonna tie into those. We've got our little battery connector here. Just a safety tip, make sure that your fuse is taken out of the fuse holder, just to keep down any risk of anything happening. And so we're going to first measure and make sure we got enough length here. Looks like we're good. And we'll attach these now. All right, we're connected. Still not putting the fuse in yet because I want to get everything connected first before we do that. So then I just ran under the seat here and came in underneath this location right here. Obviously you can run this completely underneath this, but our ProMaster is so old and there's stuff sticking down, it was hard to get this up. I did have to remove this push pin right here with just a little trim removal kit. And then, so I'm going down through here and up into this area, and you can see our connectors are right there, and I will connect that right now. Okay, so now you can see our connection right here. Depending on how this battery cover fits back in, I may need to slide this under here, or if I can tuck it in right there, I'll do that as well. But just want to make sure that's in a safe location where it's not going to get snagged on, stepped on, or anything like that. So before I put in all the liners and all of that, I just want to run a test on the lighting system, make sure it works. So I'm going to attach my lights to each of these connections and just set them in place to run a quick test. So I've got my lights in place right now. Now I'm just gonna put that fuse into the fuse holder. So I'll go ahead and walk in the van from the side sliding door. All right, the lights just turned on automatically. So now we're ready for the final part of the install, which is going to be attaching the lights to our liners. But first we gotta put the liners in. And we're doing that installation next. So if I'm wearing a different shirt or something like that, still the same guy, might have a different haircut, but we're gonna install those liners, put our holes in them, and then attach those lights in place. Now that we have our ceiling liners installed, I have the wiring tucked behind here. I have marked on the wall where these lights are going to be. Next, you're gonna have to put in a hole for these light fixtures. Now, if you have a 4.5-inch hole saw, you can actually use that. That's the size of basically the enclosure part, and then you have the little lip or the trim part of the light that's gonna cover over that. Or you can use the little template that's included in the lighting kit and use this to mark where you're gonna cut it and use a razor blade and cut. And that's what we're gonna do for this video. So I'm gonna take my measurements, figure out where my dead center is, put up the template, and then cut away so we can install our lights. 58, so that's gonna be 25 plus 4, 29. Apparently I didn't line up my wires as good as I thought, so I'm gonna have to fish it. Now, taped on the back of these lights is 3 screws. These have a really thin thread on it. They also include a bag with some self-threading screws in here that are a little bit thicker that look like the screws that they typically use on the liner, so I'm actually gonna use those instead, just to make sure I get a good connection into this liner. Okay, just testing real quick before I get everything secured. Looks good. Take the fuse back out. Got our first one in. This one I did a good job of tucking that wire back there. All right, now that our lights are working and installed on our ceiling liner, that just about wraps up the install of these ceiling lights from Legend. Now, if you're looking for these ceiling lights or any other equipment to upfit your van so that it's ready for work, be sure to check us out at upfitsupply.com. Okay, my name is Ryan, and have a good one.